Vivien Leigh, the legendary star of Gone with the Wind, experienced severe emotional swings. Her close ones and colleagues often noticed her sudden mood changes, ranging from bursts of inspiration and energy to deep despair. Her battle with tuberculosis worsened her state, causing even more suffering. Laurence Olivier, her husband, tried to support her, but their marriage eventually fell apart. Despite her struggles, Vivien continued to shine on stage and screen, leaving a legacy as one of the greatest actresses. Marilyn Monroe always felt lonely, even at the height of her fame. A difficult childhood, years in foster care, and constant pressure from Hollywood left her restless. Surrounded by bright spotlights, she endured sleepless nights, anxiety, and painful insecurities. Her relationships with men, including Arthur Miller and Joe DiMaggio, brought little solace. Medications she took to ease her pain ultimately led to her tragic and early death. The little girl with a remarkable voice who became the star of The Wizard of Oz was under studio control from a young age. MGM imposed strict diets, forced her to work tirelessly, and relied on medication to keep her going. These practices took a toll on her health and led to emotional exhaustion. Despite everything, Judy Garland conquered the world with her talent, becoming a symbol of music and cinema. Charismatic and bright, Montgomery Clift was a favorite of audiences until a terrible car accident changed his appearance and life. The aftermath of his injuries haunted him until the end, as did a deep sense of sadness. He fought to cope with pain and isolation, but the struggle was tormenting. Even so, his performances remain masterpieces to this day. Frances Farmer was an independent and outspoken woman, which clashed with the rigid standards of Hollywood at the time. Her straightforwardness and temper often caused conflicts with studio executives. After several breakdowns, she was sent to a psychiatric hospital where she endured harsh treatments. Her life turned into a tragedy, but her name remains a symbol of resistance against the system. Howard Hughes, a brilliant director, actor, and businessman, was obsessed with order and cleanliness. His compulsive tendencies grew stronger over time. He isolated himself from the world, washing his hands for hours and avoiding contact with others. Once a dazzling figure on the Hollywood stage, Hughes spent his final days in complete solitude. Rita Hayworth, the star of Gilda, captivated audiences with her talent and beauty. However, her glamorous on-screen presence hid personal struggles. Her memory and mental sharpness began fading long before she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. Her relationships, including a marriage to Prince Ali Khan, brought little happiness. Her later years were marked by loneliness, but her name still shines in cinema history. Actress Jean Tierney endured a devastating emotional blow after giving birth to a disabled daughter. The tragedy was caused by contracting rubella from a fan during pregnancy. This loss deeply affected her, and she spent years fighting to recover. Although she returned to acting, her brilliance was never quite the same. Luana Patton was one of Disney's most beloved child actors. Her charm and talent won over audiences, but her adult career failed to take off. She struggled with isolation and couldn't find her place outside of cinema, battling inner demons. Her story serves as a reminder of how harsh Hollywood can be on its young stars. Errol Flynn embodied adventure and romance on screen, but his personal life was far from idyllic. He hid his insecurities behind a mask of charm. Alcohol abuse and tumultuous relationships with women destroyed his health. Errol died young, leaving behind a legend as one of the greatest actors of his era.